right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are journeying to the Mushroom Kingdom and beyond into outer space because it is time to talk about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. You might have seen me on Channel 8 News talking about this movie a few weeks back. That was really fun. Thank you to them for having me out. But now we're going to have a full conversation. Joining me is Rachel Wagner. We are going to get into a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, have a fun time talking about this movie, also talk about the very strange, overly negative response to this movie from critics. Rachel and I are both critics. We didn't hate this movie. We liked it. We didn't love it, but we liked it. And what happened to just having a calm, measured opinion on movies? We're going to get into that in this conversation along with a bunch of puzzle pieces. So before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. And with that said, let's go! Let's go! Rachel Wagner is with me. We're going to talk about the super... I caught her totally off guard there. Yeah. We're going to talk about Super Mario Galaxy. How's it going, Rachel? Are you ready to go on an epic adventure into outer space?
I'm doing well. With my wild and crazy opinions. I just feel like such a weirdo this week.
Amazing.
But what else is new, right?
Yeah, right. That's the usual.
Yeah.
Did you give this a 3-star like I did?
Yes, I did.
Okay, but a perfectly normal rating for this movie. We're going to get into puzzle pieces in a little bit, but I do want to kind of start this conversation off by talking about why does everything have to be either the best movie of the year and deserves 100 Oscars, or this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Why can't people 3 stars
like exist? It's a literal war crime.
What is happening? I'm so confused by the response to this movie.
I mean, I said it on Twitter, I was like, if you said that, then you better mean it. And what I mean by that is that if you're going around and you're saying that about everything, or that in 2 months you're like, I guess it wasn't really that. No, you don't get to do that. No. you like there are a few times I've pulled out that kind of language for a movie. Like the most recent one I can think of would be the Megamind sequel. Because that movie really made me mad because I love the original and it was so lazy and it was so frustrating on every level, from the voice acting to the animation to the story to the everything.
Yeah.
And so I stand by that. I stand by that DreamWorks should have been embarrassed by that film. And so I mean, luckily they've made Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and lots of other great things. So it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you can say that, but you better mean it.
Exactly.
And you better not say that very often, because if you do, then I have no interest in your opinion.
Yeah, because then nothing means anything. It's all just hyperbole in every review. As far as Illumination is concerned, because you are much more into the animated films than I am. Like, do they have movies that critics like kind of connect with? Because I feel like, I don't know, almost every time out, it seems like critics are just all over the place wildly with their movies. Is there anything that's like universally actually enjoyed by critics with their stuff?
I don't think so. I think that.
But people love them. People love them whether or not critics.
No question.
Yeah. They keep making money.
The Duck movie, The Migration, that has a 73%.
Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah.
On Rotten Tomatoes. So I feel like that one was pretty high for. I wonder if they have it in a thing, so I don't need to. Here we go. All Illumination movies ranked.
Ooh.
So the original Despicable Me is at 80%. And then Despicable Me 2, 75%. It's actually not as bad as I would have thought. So, and then Secret Life of Pets is 70%. But those are the 4 movies that are certified fresh.
Okay. So people just hate
Um,
Mario. That's what it comes
I
down
guess
to.
so.
I guess so. This is just a bridge too far, unfortunately, for our critic friends. But yeah, no, and I get it. Like this movie, and that's why it's a 3-star for me. Like this movie, it doesn't exactly do anything particularly interesting story wise, and it's not taking the franchise in interesting directions necessarily. But
No.
it is fun though, in the sense of like just children's kind of fun. It is, it's giving fans what they want, and I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with that necessarily, as long as it's a good time. And clearly, it's a good time for a lot of other people.
Yeah, I titled my review, I said, "Can a movie win me over on cuteness vibes?"
Sure.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. There you go. There you
And
go.
that's
I
this
like it.
movie for me. And I actually didn't go fresh on the first one because
Mm,
I thought it was a little more boring, a little more generic. I thought this one to me had a little more personality, and I liked the fact that Luigi and Mario were together for this movie where they weren't in the first one.
sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And the first one also had way too many needle drops, which thankfully they fixed this time
True.
around.
Although I was surprised that they didn't have. I thought it might be more of a musical just because that was such a highlight of the first movie
Well, it's
was the
definitely missing a
Peaches.
Bowser song. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Bowser needed a song this time out. That I think,
I was surprised
yeah,
they didn't lean into that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's start getting into
So,
some puzzle pieces here. We'll talk about some more things about this movie along the way. But what do you got for your first puzzle piece?
so my first puzzle piece is actually technically a short. I have Wallace and Gromit: A Grand Day Out, and I was trying to think of something that had like a buddy energy that you get with Luigi and Mario.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun. And this one, the reason why I picked this one over the feature films is this one they go to space, they go to the moon
Mm.
in the Grand Day Out to try to get
Okay.
cheese. It might be the best one, like the best Wallace and Gromit of all. It's really charming and funny, and of course the animation's always good. I mean, Aardman. I was really disappointed in their Chicken Run sequel,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't like bad. They are incredibly consistent studio, and Walter Grumman, of course, is their like flagship.
Sure.
And these shorts, or if you haven't seen the Walter Grumman shorts, they're so wonderful and great. I think they might have even won an Oscar for this one. They won
Right
an
on.
Oscar for some of them,
Yeah, I don't know
and
if I've seen
yeah,
this one. I
it's
mean
really
their
good.
their animation is always so good, and they're super
Yeah,
cool with like the style and everything that they do, the Aardman stuff. I will say also, like to that point, obviously this is all CGI, but this is one of the most beautiful looking animated films I've seen in a while, and that's another
yeah,
reason why I was very hesitant to like dump on this movie, like so many people have. Because I mean, even if it wasn't funny, even if it wasn't fun, even if I didn't care about the characters or any of that
yeah.
stuff, it still looks really, really good.
I
And
mean, I would
yeah,
say that it looks better than the first one as
yeah,
far
I
as the
think so.
animation.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, I will
Yeah.
go, and I guess really I could have said this about the first movie as well. So it's kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm gonna go with the Lego Movie for my first puzzle piece here. Loads of references, loads of super fast paced, like appealing to kids' desire for loud, choppy
Yeah.
excitement, just like
That's a good choice.
nonstop.
Even the same voice actor.
Yep, absolutely. We do have the same voice actor, and yeah, and it's just that like that nonstop energy where like you can't slow down even for a second, or else you're going to lose those kids. And I think that's also part of what's like losing our adult aged critics is that kind of energy. I think people want movies to slow down or something. I don't know, but yeah, but then again, everybody loves Lego movies, so I'm kind of at a loss. But yeah, Lego Movie is the first one I was thinking of here.
Yeah. I mean, you could even think about the second one, Lego Movie 2, with this like a little more space
Sure. Yeah,
where,
everything gets a little bit more crazy, and we go to space and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, lots of that in there as well.
So I can see that.
Let's
Yeah.
go to another one. What do you got?
All right. So then next up, I have, I think, very similar in aesthetic. I have Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it looks very similar. to the style of a. I mean, it really could be an Illumination movie. It looks
Sure.
like Illumination. We forget that this thing was nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
You mean like you said, it was one of the ones in the very first year of the category. I haven't seen it, I must admit, in years and years. But I remember thinking it was fun and cute characters, and I feel like the characters also look very similar to. I mean, this has that 2001 CG animation kind of glaze over it.
Yeah.
but but yeah, in my memory, the humor is quite similar. The aesthetic, you've got the space element similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just the first thing I thought of.
I'm curious too, like, see, this is interesting because these are both like much earlier, eras of animation. And I'm wondering if Nintendo at one point, obviously they famously after the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie, didn't want to venture into Hollywood again for like decades and decades. But I wonder in this era if they maybe dip their toe, if they considered, if they reached out to some of these studios about possibly doing something. Because yeah, like that Jimmy Neutron like era of animation, I could have seen Super Mario taking that jump back into Hollywood at that point, and I think it would have been way worse, to be honest with you. But now was exactly the right time in every possible way. But yeah, definitely that style though would have matched the nonstop craziness of a franchise like this.
Yeah, and just I feel like the sort of sci-fi aesthetic and the kind of the big heads and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
totally. I still have a Super Mario toy that I had since I was a kid, and it has a very Jimmy Neutron looking like design to it. Like, so yeah, absolutely. I will go, speaking of references, I'm going to stick in that mode right now because I know that's the thing everyone hates about this movie. I'm going to go with Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, which is a movie that I do hate, actually, from Akiba Schaffer.
Oh, really? See, I like it.
A lot of people did love it, and I was one of the only people who seemed to not really connect with it at all. I do usually love his style of humor and like that whole Lonely Island thing and all that stuff. I love The Naked Gun last year.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's great. But there's something about Rescue Rangers. See, and here's where I become like the fuddy-duddy because like this is the exact complaint everyone has about the Super Mario Galaxy movie in that it's just references for 90 straight minutes. And that's what Rescue Rangers was. And it annoyed me to no end in that movie. And for some reason, it just did not bother me here as much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with Rescue Rangers, it was literally part of the plot. Like they were actors in a show and, that trying to get the show back. And so it didn't really bother me in that movie, but yeah, fair enough. But this one, I think it also didn't bother me that much because I could tell that they were Easter egging it all over the place, but because I'm not familiar with the property, it didn't. It was just like, oh, that's cute. That was cute. So I think you either, as a fan, you either are fan serviced or you are annoyed. You feel patronized too, by that. But as a non-fan, it's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing too about like the Mario franchise and like all these years of Nintendo is there's so much filled into this movie, yet there's still more. There's still so much more, and this movie is obviously a huge hit, regardless of what critics say. Yes. And I'm sure we'll end up getting a third one, and there's plenty more for them to do and to add into this.
Yeah. So. Do you think that they're going to do like a Smash Brothers thing?
Like I think if the next one does well, then we're gonna because they're being cagey about that, whether that's really the direction. I think they're gonna go with the Luigi's Mansion direction, which is what that's what I really want, and I have a feeling that's what they're gonna do. But yeah, I mean, I think if this continues to be a money machine, that they'll eventually work their way towards Smash Brothers, and then maybe bring Sonic in, and then forget about it.
But isn't that the other company, Sonic?
It is, but they'll find a way. They want money. That's what it comes down to. Money. Yes, they do.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I know they're doing live action Zelda.
Sure.
So they would have to do also a animated Zelda. I would think I would think you'd want to keep this all animated.
Yeah, I think so. And let me just say that Zelda movie, I'm looking for, as a Nintendo fan all my life, I'm looking forward to it, but it better not be anything like this. Like it has to be very serious, and it has to
Yeah.
be, adventurous. Like none of this. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's go to your next piece.
So my last piece is I actually was thinking of Rosalina and Peach, and I thought of Barbie,
Okay.
particularly like the pink aesthetic and the love that the like when all the stars, how much they love Rosalina, the quest to free Peaches, and the I guess the combination of sort of the very feminine aesthetic with this sort of male world of these
Hmm.
Mario and Luigi and Bowser and kind of thing. It sort of made me think of a little bit of Barbie.
No, absolutely. And I mean, Barbie is kind of the female equivalent of like all the video games that every kid was playing with back
Yeah.
then. So absolutely. I will just jump right on top of your Barbie piece there and go with Captain Marvel for the Brie Larson being this all-powerful space
Yeah.
princess. So,
That was
go with that.
fun.
Yeah, and she was good in this, and apparently is
Mhm.
a big gamer, so good for her getting this role. Uh, and then I'll just go with one other piece I wanted to throw in here. I was trying to think of one for the Bowser Jr. character, who is the main villain here, who is kind of like overdoing the evilness of his father, who is like the most evil, but he's just taken a little bit too far. I thought of Christopher Mintz-Plasse in Kick-Ass 2, which was not
Mm.
very good, but that's kind of the story there, where he's like he takes over from his dad,
Yeah.
who was killed by the hero in the first one, and this time around he's just real bad, and like too bad to the point that he's gonna mess everything up.
Yeah. You could also do something like Hook,
Yeah, yeah, that works.
because the bad since Robin Williams is the bad man of business,
Yeah,
his son just turns into the petulant,
yeah,
horrible kid.
totally, totally. Yeah,
Turns on him, turns on all everything,
yeah,
and sides with Hook. It's
love
kind
it.
of a similar, it's sort of a similar trajectory
There you
that you
go.
have going on.
I'm throwing Hook on the list. We might as well.
Yes.
So,
Okay, good. I don't
absolutely.
even like Hook that much, but it does work as far as story.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen that since I
Yeah.
was a kid,
I mean,
but
I think you could also throw like Detective Pikachu maybe in
sure.
there, Pokemon.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some of that energy in there.
Well, and all video game movies kind of do share some kind of DNA, because like all these stories are very similar when it comes to video game like
Yeah.
storylines, and the way that they tend to like incorporate different worlds and like, different universes and all this kind of stuff.
And I feel like this one is particularly hard. I mean, how do you make a franchise about two plumbers in a magical world that's going to appeal to little kids? And
Yeah.
so I think it's pretty tricky. And when the first movie came out, I was working in a movie theater for a brief period of time, and this little I'll never forget this little girl. She's walking out of the movie with her mom, and she looks up and she says, "Mommy, I love Mario."
Nice. There you
I
go.
just thought, wow, they did a great job for a little girl to love this, plumber with a mustache.
There you go. And then if you go back to the 1993 live action movie, the little kid
Yeah,
was like, "Mommy, I'm scared."
yeah.
But that
Well, the
that
thing
movie
about
rules. I'm all
that
in on that.
movie, yeah, I mean, the thing about that movie is it's just so dirty.
It is. It's
Everything
dirty
looks
and weird and
gross, and
and
yeah,
strange. I love
it's
it so
not
much.
fun. And
No.
so this movie definitely has its flaws, and it's so funny to see so you have the critics being a little over the top, some of them, and then of course then you have the backlash of like, oh, what did you want it to win an Oscar?
Yeah, yeah.
No, like it's fully reasonable for somebody to want like a more interesting plot than we're going to save Peaches. Like that's basically all they came up with. And so both of the back and forth is, of course, as the internet is want to do, is things. But I don't know. I do think that given what they had to work with, it was hard. to come up with the story. Yeah, like I feel a certain degree of sympathy for that.
It's definitely an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would just say, like, going into some closing thoughts here. I mean, you were just talking about the whole critic response again. Another thing that this movie has been bringing back up, and this has happened to me like quite a few times lately, because I do tend to like a lot of movies that, you know, tend to end up getting trashed. And like, this is one of those movies where it's like, I want to defend, but like half-heartedly defend.
Yeah,
I'm like, guys, it's not that bad, but like, I'm not also like saying like, oh, this is not going to be anywhere near my top 10 or anything like that.
No.
Like, it's just it's a movie. It was fine, and I saw a bunch of Mario characters, and it was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the interesting thing, and this just is part of the reality of criticism. It's just the way it is, especially in the Rotten Tomatoes world. So I actually went rotten on Hoppers.
Okay.
I didn't love that movie, especially the villain. I thought was just so strange. But in reality, my review were not that different between the two. I would probably give Hoppers a 2.5, and I would probably give Mario a 3.
Okay.
It's just that, you know, in the world of Rotten Tomatoes, you have to pick a team, you have to pick a side.
Yeah.
But in reality, they were both, you know, flawed. I just leaned slightly more negative on Hoppers because I really just thought some of the choices were very strange. But, you know, that's just the way it is. People don't like it, but there it is. That just happens.
That's the world of film criticism. We're seeing behind the curtains right now in today's episode. So I love it. Rachel, is there another movie you watched recently you'd like to recommend to our listeners?
Well, one hidden gem from this year that I really recommend checking out, finding, it's called Redux.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I thought the script was great. The lead performance, and she's the sister of the two writers directors. And so I don't know what kind of experience she has or whatever, but she was excellent in the role. It's sci-fi. It's clever. It's got some horror elements into it. It's really good. And then, of course, I loved and adored Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I've seen it 4 times in the theater.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yes, I saw it twice last year. I saw it at South by Southwest, and I loved it. And then I saw it again in Toronto at TIFF because the whole thing was shot there. I was like, I have to go again.
Yeah.
And I knew they would be there, and it was great. And then I saw it when it came out, and then one more time before it left theaters. And so I really do love it. I think it is so just creative and fun. And I love friendship stories. Maybe that's why I'm also a little nicer on Mario than
there you go. Yeah, right.
I love friendship stories, and I like the fact that both Mario and Luigi were in this one together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's one. Those are 2 that I would recommend. Also coming up in May, keep an eye out for a movie called Tuner.
That looks good.
I saw it at Sundance. It's really good. It's got Dustin Hoffman, but the lead actor is named Leo Woodall. And I guess he was on like White Lotus or whatever.
White Lotus. Yeah.
Anyway, he's very good, and he plays a person who's hard of hearing. So he has he's not deaf, but he has the AIDS, and he tunes pianos. And one day he figures out that the same tools that he can use to tune the pianos, he can use to crack safes. And it's one of those movies that I cannot imagine anybody disliking. I'm sure there will be people, but I have a hard time grasping because it's funny, it's romantic, it's tense, it's got really charismatic, likable actors. It's just really good.
I'm psyched. Yeah. It sounds great. And yeah, I really like that guy. I saw him on that show, and I saw him somewhere else too recently. I can't remember where, but that's exciting. Very cool.
Keep an eye out for that one. It's worth your effort if you have to go to Art House or whatever. It's really
there
good.
You go.
Yeah.
Great picks.
So there we go.
Rachel, tell people where they can find you, your shows, everything you're up to.
Yes, you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over the place, and I have a new show on that's live streamed on Friday mornings, but you can listen to it after, called Friday Flicks, that I'm very proud of. So please check that out, and also at Hallmarkies Podcast. We cover all the rom-coms, holiday, fair, everything on Hallmark. So it's a lot of fun.
Right on. I was just on recently to do our usual box office predictions, and so far we're off to a good start, I feel like, with Super Mario at number one.
We'll do better than we did in the fall.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Thank you to Rachel Wagner for joining me on that one, and thank you to all of you for listening. Also, I just realized that at the end of the intro, I did the "let's go," and then at the beginning of the conversation, I also did it, and so that means I did it literally back to back twice in a row. That's what happens when you edit these podcasts on different days than you record them. So, as Mario would say, "Oh no." But let's move on and just say thank you so much for being out there and listening. If you're enjoying piecing it together, make sure you are subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. You could also join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. And I'd love to hear from you. If you have some puzzle pieces for an episode, send them in. We always have conversations there in the Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces Facebook group. You could also hit me up on social media at Piecing Pod or email me. I will say, though, that I have an extra puzzle piece to throw in there. I can't believe I forgot to mention Top Gun Maverick, especially with who is playing Star Fox in this movie. It obviously makes a lot of sense to have Top Gun Maverick on the puzzle piece list. But if you have any others, send them in. I'd love to hear from you. But with that said, let's close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And I want to do something kind of silly and fun and goofy to go along with a movie like the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And so I'm going to go with something from the Pup Pups. And I think I'm going to go with the song called Sour Patch Kid from our album A Boy and His Dog and Three Cats and a Bear, which was our third The Pup Pups album. This one's about Millie, who... her voice is kind of like Super Mario. She's got that very cartoon Italian thing going on, and she doesn't sing on this song, but that's why I went with this one. So I will go with Sour Patch Kid. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
When everything is perfect, she'd be crying all the time. She should be saying our toy, but it's always mine, oh mine. Oh, what you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? You crying about the things your mean old sisters done did. What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? Your mom and dad are oh so mean, the meanest that it gets. You wanted to take a nap, next thing you know you're getting pets. Oh, what you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? You crying about the things your mom and daddy done did. What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about? What you crying about? What you crying about? What you crying about? Oh, what you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? Oh, what you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid? What you crying about, you little Sour Patch Kid?
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.